Hello and welcome back to the iFox with Juice podcast. I'm your host Juice, and I'm here with my co-host as always, Rena Parsegan. What's going on, Reen?
Nothing much. Hey guys, how's it going?
I hope everything's going good. Been super rainy over here. It doesn't seem like it stops week after week. We keep saying the same shit, but
I know, man.
yeah,
It's raining right now.
yeah, over
It's
here
been
too.
raining all day for me.
Yeah, over here too. Same thing.
Ugh, okay. Well, we need the water, so.
Yeah, yeah. But we got fights to talk about, and a very good card, an inaugural debut for the UFC on Big ESPN, on cable ESPN, not ESPN Plus. So this should be interesting. But first, we're gonna recap UFC 234, the fights we covered. So we'll start from the bottom up as usual. Start with Kai Kara France against Haulian Paiva. Pretty entertaining scrap. I thought it'd be a little bit more violent, but it was interesting and entertaining for what it was. Um, I was impressed. My question going in was Howlian seemed like a scrapper on the contender series, and I wasn't sure if he was going to keep it up. But he did. He was pretty fearless with France, and he did pretty good. He made it a lot closer than most people thought. Well, what did you think of his performance, Reen?
I was surprised. He did really well in that fight, and then just what you told me off air, uh, I'm even more impressed with him. So, yeah, it would be fun to watch him fight or, get back in the cage again whenever he's ready to go.
Yeah, and for context, we didn't mention this last week when we were making our picks because I wasn't aware of it. I found out till after we had recorded that Holly and Paiva's girlfriend had died a few months ago in a tragic, I want to say it's an accident because technically it was, but honestly it was more of a murder in Brazil. Sounds like him and his girlfriend were at a club and some guys started to harass his girlfriend and him doing the right thing. He, even being a UFC fighter, you think he'd go and approach him or beat him up or whatever, but they decided to leave and they were on a motorcycle and these guys followed him and hit him from behind with their car and they both fell off and Howlin he fell, he got a little bit hurt but he was okay, but the girlfriend's helmet flew off when she got hit and then she ended up getting dragged by that car as well. So she was in a coma for a few days and then died. And I guess they weren't sure when he was going to make his debut, but when they called him up, he accepted he wanted to fight and he wanted to fight for his girlfriend. Once I read that, although I love Kai Kara France, I was really rooting for him. I just you know tragic story. You want to see a guy like that win, but I think he did good even in his loss. I think it was a very good performance, and he has nothing to hang his head about. But yeah, that was a bit of news that I wasn't aware till later. It was bad, bad scene, but that's life in Brazil, unfortunately. Well, at least certain parts of Brazil. But yeah, Kai looked good. Workman-like performance. I do like that he's not just a knockout machine. That he can get these decisions when he needs to. He can grapple when he needs to. He's a pretty well-rounded fighter. So I like the fight overall. Moving on. Next fight was Montana De La Rosa versus Nadia Kassem. Kassem, striker, bum rushed De La Rosa, and basically from first second, De La Rosa decided to take her down, just went with her bread and butter of grappling and just dominated her. What did you think of her performance, Ryan, of what she did to Kassem?
That was a great performance by her. I was really surprised. I thought it was going to be a little bit more competitive, but no, she completely dominated her. So
Yeah,
good for her.
yeah, Cassim is a violent one, and she's really scrappy. But yeah, it wasn't. Del Rosa was having none of it, and it wasn't like she was just going for these desperate takedowns. She timed them very well, and I was super impressed by. I mean, by her whole performance, but that finishing sequence, because it was basically the whole second round. She was just advancing. She'd gone that armbar, the armbar attempt, and looked like she had it locked in, but she just had that little inch of space where she can get out. And I think most people would have gave up on that because they're like, well, she scrimped out. I'll either get something else or just let this go. But she kept going. Eventually, she ended up getting that. She get it. She got mount. She got the mounted triangle. Went to her back and her hips. I was mostly impressed with her hips, man. She people talk about having heavy hips and mobile hips and jiu-jitsu, but that girl, nah, she sticks to you like glue. She's been very well taught. She's improved a lot. The way she was able to sink in that submission was super super impressive. So um, yeah, just all the praise in the world for Montana De La Rosa. Who knows how far she'll get in the division right now, but with performances like that, sky could be the limit if she keeps it going. She can get really really far here.
Yeah, I think she was talking about having like a top three opponent next if the money is right or something. So
Yeah, I believe she said top 10, and that's what I wanted to mention right now too. That she talked about her tough contract, and I give her props. I know she seems kind of just like a nice all American type girl, kind of soft spoken, but she said a lot by saying a little about talking about she wants to fight some top girls and get out of her tough contract because it's really not paying as much as she'd like to. Didn't talk shit or anything, but just said the reality of the situation. Even Rachel Ostovich chimed in. Uh, yeah, I'm looking right now. She had said, "I'm number 14 right now, but I want to get through these next few tough contract fights so I can get paid what a ranked fighter should get paid." Simple, sweet, and to the point. And even Rachel quoted that, and she said, "Never did this for money, but the tough contract makes me sad. Even if I lose, even if I lose my fight, I would love to be able to provide for me and my kid, at least to my next fight. I wish my paycheck reflected the viewership, especially for my last fight." That was kind of interesting, especially given that Rachel lost to her last year, but it shows the reality of this whole tough contract thing.
yeah, it's great that she's with UFC, but doesn't sound like it's really worth it money wise. So hopefully they'll make some changes for her because of her performances. But we'll see with the UFC. Who knows what they'll do?
Yeah, and anytime you beat up a girl who has "Mi Vida Loca" tattooed on her stomach, I mean that gives you props in my book. That definitely gives you hood points. So Montana De La Rosa, come by anytime. You're welcome. You did a crazy feat there. I don't care if that girl's not Hispanic. That uh the people I see on Twitter that started marking out over Nadia Kazem, and I don't blame you guys. She's pretty. She's pretty. I get it. But knowing what that means in my neck of the woods with the "Mi Vida Loca" tatted on the stomach like that, red flags all aboard, man. You guys are brave if you want to get with that.
Dude, it's on her stomach. That's hardcore, man.
Yeah, that's some prison shit. I know people are like, oh, that's a prison tattoo, and they don't really know what's going on, but that's as close to a prison tattoo as you'll see on a quote unquote normal civilian. But I guess when she said she was battling depression and mild schizophrenia and stuff, I guess she can wear it proudly. More power to her, I suppose. But yeah, good on Del Rosa. Good job. Very impressed. I hope she gets her wish and gets a good top 15, top 10 girl. Moving on. Next fight was Ricky Simone and Hani Yaya. So we all had the same picks. We were right about Kai Kara France and De La Rosa, and we both went with Yaya on this one, but we were wrong. I just kept getting the suspicion that Simone would dive in for a takedown and get guillotined. But he kept it standing. He did take him down a few times and got up pretty quickly. But he played it really smart. My only criticism is that he was pretty hittable and he did get hurt a few times by Yaya. And I hope this is just a thing that he got hurt a few times. He learns from it. And he's gonna tighten up his defense. But seeing the way Simone fights, I think he's just a wild man. I think he's gonna. Part of me thinks that he's just gonna continue going how he goes.
Yeah, they both hurt each other. That was like a war. It was a good fight. I was totally surprised that it went that far. Like the outcome of it all too. Like, damn, totally underestimated that kid. So, I mean, hopefully, you know, his body will hold up if he continues to fight like that. But yeah, I was impressed with that fight too.
Yeah, you think given the style matchup, Ricky Simone's a good wrestler, but mostly a striker. But Yaya basically has no striking and is all grappling. It could have been this boring, butt scooting kind of patty cake type matchup. But no, Simone did what he had to do, and you stuck to the game plan very well. He had a hiccup here and there with some of the big shots he took, but he looked no worse for wear. So good on Simone. He's climbing up, steadily climbing up the rankings, and I'm very interested to see who he's gonna fight next. You have any thoughts, Rena, who maybe he could fight?
Dude, I don't even know. I didn't think he would get past Yaya, so I got to think about it. I'm serious, totally underestimated because I was like, nah, there's no way. He's like a mini Damian Maya. He's gonna grab him and like just submit him or something. Like it's gonna be quick. That's what I thought, you know, how it's gonna happen, but no.
Yeah,
Uh-uh.
especially that Yaya was in a good little streak there, but you can't underestimate the power of that mullet, man. Simone's mullet, it's fucking extreme.
all the all the tweets about his hair, man.
Yeah,
I
I
was
forget who it
cracking up.
was. I forget who it was. I wish I could give him credit, but somebody said, looks like Ricky Simone went to the barber and just said, "I'll take the sampler." It looks like he just had every haircut.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah, but
Crazy.
I dig
Props
it.
to him.
I dig it. It's hilarious, but he's a character. It gives him character. So keep it up. Mullet or not, I still like Ricky Simone. So yeah, good for him. Um, and then we're gonna get to our next fight, which was the co-main event. Got moved up to the main event because of some circumstances with Bobby Knuckles, which I'm sure you guys all know about. We'll mention that in a bit, but Israel Adesanya versus Anderson Silva. Um, interesting what you said, Reen, that you actually didn't even watch this fight live because you were so anxious.
Man, you brought it up. Yeah, I couldn't watch it. It's just the weigh-ins got to me when they both got emotional. They're both crying, and I'm like, God damn it! Why they got to do this to me? It got me in the feels. Like I can't, I can't. I didn't want to watch Anderson get murdered or be embarrassed or anything. And yeah, I was so nervous about it. So yeah, I caught it the next day. I caught the press conference the next day too. I didn't see Anderson's. I saw like highlights of it, but from what I saw, it was competitive. I thought it was going to be over quick, but no. Both counter strikers. I was impressed. I liked the fight. I'd watch it again. It was fun to watch. So the people that complain, fuck you. You don't know what the hell you don't know what you're watching. But it was good. And then Chris Weidman, keep your mouth shut.
Oh yeah,
The
that
comment
happened.
that he made about is being overrated. Come on, man. This is not your lane. Get some wins in. I don't know, recover from your injuries or something. Figure out which weight class you want to fight in first before you start talking. The big boys are talking now. Yoel Romero, Paulo Acosta, those guys. And then hopefully when Whitaker comes back, gas them, they get all that like situated. But yeah, it was good. It was fun. I know I said
Yeah,
a lot there.
no, no, no. Of course, I feel like I speak a lot, so you take your minute. I don't mind. This is a show for both of us, so yeah, I know. Yeah. So you did think it was exciting, and I actually posed that question on the Twitter account. I said, was Silva Adesanya legitimately exciting, or just a product of nerves and anticipation? It seemed like a lot of people were kind of like you, like I'm so nervous, I don't want to know what happens, and they're kind of on the edge of their seats, but 59% said it was exciting. So there's that. I'm kind of on the other school of it. I think it was more nerves and I'm not gonna say it was a boring fight at all. It was interesting. It really could have been way more boring because they're both kind of counter strikers. They both respected each other a lot. Sometimes that turns into just a staring match, but the antics definitely helped. The showboating, the little kung fu hand movements. And Adesanya's, I guess it's a Naruto pose, that thing that he did with the sideways stance and the hand gesture, like bring it on type thing. I've never watched Naruto, so I don't know about that, but I know Adesanya's kind of a nerd with all that, but it was interesting. I think one of the coolest things, although it was technically nothing, I thought it was so cool in the end of the third round when Adesanya went for that spinning tornado kick thing, and then Anderson countered with a wheel kick. Both of them missed, but it was just crazy like that they would come up with that on the fly. Yeah, split decision for Adesanya. I mean, it was a close fight. Were you ever in doubt? Did you think that that he would lose him.
I didn't think he would lose, but I didn't think it would be like that. Just the way it was presented to us. Like, good for Anderson. He still got it. I totally underestimated that too. You know,
And against one of the most dangerous guys, yeah, that definitely says something.
yeah, and then just the crowd was all into it too. Like you mentioned, like the kicks, you could hear the crowd like, oh, like I mean, they're all into it. I'm pretty sure they were probably on their edge of their seat too. So
And they started chanting for Anderson. They started chanting Silva, even though Adesanya, I mean, it's not his home country, but damn near might be. And they were chanting for Anderson. That was pretty crazy.
yeah, they probably like won him over, like because they probably thought the same thing, like don't get hurt. This is crazy. I don't know why he's fighting. Is he? But yeah, it was super competitive, and he flew in with that flying knee, and Izzy like totally read that and moved out of the way, and I mean he could still move like that. It's pretty impressive for being 43 years old. I mean, I might have to start eating acai or something. Good lord. Um, but yeah, he's talking about his next fight already. Anderson Silva is talking about his next fight and possibly fighting in Brazil, and Nick Diaz's name came up. I think Connor even kind of chimed in on that and said, "Yeah, I want to fight him." I don't know if that would ever happen. That's crazy, but yeah, good on Anderson. He still got it. So who knows? He sign a crazy 9-fight deal?
It
His
may have
last
been
contract
It may have been
negotiation?
it may have been more than that. I think I think it was before he fought Weidman before he lost. I think he signed like a 15 fight deal or something, which is obviously something he would never complete. It was one of those things like the UFC wanted him till the end of his career. But yeah, I mean, I'm not paying too much attention to that. He's gonna retire sooner rather than later. But I just hope he has fun fights moving forward. Like this was a dangerous fight, obviously an important fight, but all in all, it was a fun fight. So I hope they match
Yeah.
him up. Like you know, I hope they like if he has the balls and maybe he's just something that the fans clamor for. I wish that he'd fight like Wonder Boy Thompson. Why not? You know?
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah, like it doesn't
That
make much
would be.
sense, but at least people would pay for it. You tell me
Right.
you wouldn't be psyched for that, you know?
Right, right, right. I mean, it would be cool if they could set this up. Nick Diaz coming back and fighting him, and then, yeah, like I said, Connor mentioned, fighting Nate Diaz on the same card in Brazil, and I think that would be huge. But I don't think that's realistic. I don't think that's going to happen. I can dream, but damn, if they can pull it off, I think that would be such a huge fight.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. But yeah, we gotta address the elephant of the room, which was Bobby Knuckles pulling out morning of the fight. Well, maybe the night before. He was having stomach pains, and it turns out he had a hernia. He had his intestines twisted, if I remember correctly, and his colon popping out. It was really gross, really serious stuff. And the doctors found it, and he had to go in emergency surgery. And they said if had he fought and had he gotten hit hard in the stomach, that it could have been fatal. So thank God that that tragedy was avoided. But then we had old Kelvin Gastelum stealing Henry Cejudo's belt and parading it around, that using his master Chael's line of he didn't show up to work, he didn't show up to compete, so he forfeits. Therefore, I'm the new champion, and basically getting everybody in the arena and on watching at home just pissed off, especially when he had all those festering wounds and sores on his face and neck. But yeah, he's according to a lot of people on Twitter, seems like Kelvin Gastelum's the Mexican Colby Covington. So
Oh my god. Man, when I saw that, I was mad too. Remember, I was texting you, fuck you, Kelvin.
dirty bird.
Like, you dirty bird. Like, that is so gross. God, but, yeah, I was getting angry.
I
Uh-uh.
even I even saw people like I don't know. I think it was a joke, but they had like this conspiracy theory, like uh, Robert Whitaker made up his injury of his hernia so he can get out of the fight because he didn't want to get herpes from Calvin.
Oh my God. Well, his body said something because, damn, like, the morning of? and then he had to go into surgery. He was in there for what, 4 hours or something.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So yeah, Eugene Robinson from Bloody Elbow, Aussie Confidential, If I Did It podcast. What's that other one? I forget right now. It escapes me, but I'm a huge fan of his, and he was talking about it on his podcast about how, yeah, he's out for 4 to 6 weeks, but that's doctors saying that, but actual like specialists saying it, or somebody that's more experienced with dealing with fighters, they're saying like he's probably going to be out longer than that. So he might be screwed with this whole situation. Might get his belt stripped or whatever. Something's going to happen because they think he's going to be out longer than 4 to 6 weeks. Yeah,
Well,
he can
the
fight and train and stuff, but to actually be prepared to fight, that's going to take a little bit longer.
yeah, the recent statement by I believe it was his team said that he can come around somewhere between June and August. I guess that's maybe best case scenario if everything goes well, God willing. Um, I don't know. I just guess it depends how they do the card, but to me, I just as long as everything's okay, I hope the UFC just goes and books this for International Fight Week for July, because yeah, it's not the biggest fight in the world. That you could do something bigger, especially I'm sure they're going to be looking at DC and John Jones or DC and Lesnar or some other big fight, maybe Connor if everything goes well, but that could be a good co-main event, and I mean I think people were psyched for this fight. I think people wanted to see it, and if Kelvin got some heel, he got that attention. People want to see him lose now because he was acting like a dickhead. That can be a good thing, maybe. It's not going to set the world on fire, but it's definitely a good fight. And I think a fight that all the hardcore fans want to see because it's one of the few fights that's happening recently that's deserving. Like this is one of the top contenders, and he's fighting the legit champion. There's no interims. There's no champ. There's no the right guy in the right division fighting the champ, which I think is needed nowadays.
Yeah, and who wouldn't be entertained by watching Whitaker fight? Like, we need to see him back in the cage again. It's been so long, but now it's going to be delayed even more.
Yeah, he fights. He's been fighting once a year lately, anyway, especially since becoming champ, and he always gets hurt. Not his fault. He's been fighting Yoel Romero, who's a fucking tank, who's always fucks him up in one way or another. Being his Cuban ass self. But this fight with Gaslam should have been good, and I see no reason of why it's not going to be good later on. I guess there's been this controversy with is Adesanya next, and it sounds like he wants to sit out, and then the whole thing like you're mentioning with Weidman. I don't think Weidman's actually going to step up and fight Adesanya, and I don't think Adesanya will want to fight him. But I'm just interested to know what's going to happen. But I think most people are in agreement that the fight needs to be rebooked. It needs to be Gastelum versus Whitaker, and if it happens in the summer, if it happens International Fight Week, in my mind, that's the best thing that can happen.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want them to push Israel too much. Just allow him to like sit and work on his grappling game, because he hasn't really shown us what he has, as far as like his ground game or whatnot. So hopefully he can work on that more. And yeah, if an opportunity presents itself with a fight with Chris Weidman, hell yeah, let's watch that. But for him to go after the belt right now, I think it's too soon. I'm a huge Israel fan. So I mean, it would be awesome for him to get that belt, but I just think it's too soon right now. And yeah, the rightful contender is Kelvin Dirty Bird Gaslam. So, hey man, get
Yeah,
washed up.
I don't,
You
I
got time to
don't,
wash up now.
I don't think Kelvin Gastelum has a nickname, does he? But he could jack it from Tim Means. Hopefully, he don't get mad.
Well,
But
well, he's a legit dirty bird, so
yeah,
ugh.
so, there you go, Calvin. If you end up using it, should send my homegirl Rina a check here. So yeah, that was that fight. That was that unfortunate. That card. That was that unfortunate incident with the main event. But looks like there should be good things ahead if everything goes smoothly. But yeah, we went 3-1 there. All the same picks. Only Yaya let us down, but we're gonna move on now to this weekend's card. The first ESPN card. big ESPN card happening Sunday, not Saturday, Sunday. And we're gonna go with some of the prelims. The one that sticks out to me, maybe the fight that sticks out to me most in general, is Ashley Evans Smith versus KGB. I'm gonna let you start on this one, Reen. What's your pick? What do you think about this fight?
Um, right off the bat, I actually picked KGB. Just looking at their overall numbers and what's been going on with both fighters. Ashley Evans Smith, she's 9-3 in the UFC, or 9-3 overall, 3-3 in the UFC. She won her flyweight debut against Beck Rawlings back in April 2018 by unanimous decision. But she's lost to tough girls like Kaylin Vieira and Raquel Pennington. And she's coming in kind of big, right? She used to be fighting in 135 bantamweight division, but now she's coming down to 125. So she's a big girl. But KGB's, her stand up, Muay Thai is beautiful. Her footwork's great. She's an all around fighter. Her record is 11-2. She's only had one fight in the UFC. She won her debut by unanimous decision. She actually got fight of the night for that. So, really excited to see her back in the cage again. But yeah, my pick is KGB with this one.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Also, I don't know if there's ever gonna come a time in my life where I go against KGB. I've basically been a giant fan of hers since the first fight I saw of hers. So I got a goddamn KGB shirt for God's sake. So and I even wore it while everyone was disavowing her for her defense of her now former husband about his Nazi tattoo. Everyone's like, "Oh, this fucking Nazi bitch," and deserves to get spit on and all this shit that people were saying. But I still stuck by her because that wasn't her thing. That was her husband's thing. And now I guess I was justified in a way because it makes sense why she would defend him given what he was doing to her. So
Yeah. Oh, after all that too, like I hope she like gets through this, gets past this, and you know, comes back again because I think they were trying to book this before, right? Or she had a fight, it fell through, so she's
yeah,
been waiting to fight again. So here we are. Finally, we get to watch her.
yeah, Jessica Rose Clark, that was supposed to happen in
That's right.
December. Yeah, and
Yeah,
then she had a weight cutting issue that fell out last minute. I guess Ashley Evans Smith hasn't fought since April. So technically, she's had a longer layoff. I guess she's been battling some injuries, so both coming off kind of long, similar layoffs. But KGB has been for different reasons. Obviously, dealing with the stuff at home with her former husband, with the abuse stuff, and the last minute dropout of Jessica Rose Clark. I don't know. Part of me, yeah, just for just straight up, I'm picking KGB. Obviously, that's one of my favorite fighters, and I do think she matches up well with Ashley. Um, I can't help but think of Ashley's loss to Kellen Vieira. Vieira was very well rounded and she was a decent striker, but she won that fight mostly based on activity. She just kept popping her, popping her, popping her, and it just kind of flustered Ashley. She kind of seemed to take that approach when she fought Beck Rawlings, but Beck Rawlings is kind of she's a okay striker, but she doesn't have the greatest IQ. But I don't think she's gonna have any success with KGB on that. I think she'd welcome that and she'll make her pay. My only worry is this is KGB's first fight since that incident, as we had mentioned. And the other thing is people don't like to talk about this, but Ashley Evans Smith was dating. I don't know if she still is, but he definitely was dating Julian Wallace, who is a woman beater, who actually is the one that beat up Jessica Rose Clark, which was her last opponent. And I'm not sure if she's aware of this, but if she is, I wonder if she'll go into the octagon with some extra. Who knows? It could be motivation, it could be anxiety, it could be anger. And who knows if any of those things are good.
yeah. You bring up a good point, but I don't know, just seeing her out with Andy, supporting her in her fights, traveling with her, she's so it just seems like she's so focused on the fight game. She's coaching her, she's in her corner, and maybe that's helping her, just keeping her focused on the fight game rather than all this outside distraction, that's out of her control, really. So hopefully, yeah, she she comes in with the finish with this. She's exciting to watch. I mean, former LFA champion, Muay Thai champion, kickboxer. I love watching her fight. So bring it on. I can't wait to watch her fight.
Yeah, and it's hard to bring up a fight where she's been boring. All her fights are always really exciting, and even if they're not the most, exciting things in the world, her technique, if you're a technique geek, she's she's one to marvel at because she does everything right, basically. Has some weird IQ at times, does some like going for the ankle pick against Sarah DeLelio. She does weird shit, but goes to show her creativity. She's not afraid to try something new. But yeah, she's a marvel to watch. She's excellent at Muay Thai, really good boxing. Her grappling's getting better day by day, so it can be interesting. I think Smith's in for some trouble so long as KGB's in the right mindset. But moving on, another prelim fight. Vicente Luque is fighting Brian Barberina, and man, okay, I'll go out and say straight up with this one. Uh, Brian Barberina is one of my favorite fighters, but I feel like given his recent run, I can't go against Vicente Luque. That guy's got some special power. His knockout of Jalen Turner in his last fight, Jesus Christ, he pounded that boy's face into the mat. That was horrific. And just UFC doing Turner no favors, giving Vicente Luque for his UFC debut. And then I think about other fights, even like Bilal Muhammad, who's known for being a tough motherfucker. Luque took him out too. He took him out badly. So, given his power, I don't know. I want to say that Barberina can take it and that he'll push through and like push the pace on him and maybe win a decision, but I think he may go down in this one. What do you think, Green?
Yeah, I got Luque too. Just looking at who Barberina fought, just overall, like one of his notable wins is Sage Northcutt. I'm like, okay, that was Sage. He fought Colby back in 2016. He was actually in Sacramento here that fought him. They fought him, or he fought him, took him to the distance, and yeah, lost in a unanimous decision. And so I'm not really impressed with him. But if you look at Luque's body of work, he's on a 3-fight win streak. All his finishes are either by knockout or a sub. It doesn't go into the third round. It's always in the first or second. He has power, a submission game. He's a black belt in BJJ. Barberena's a blue belt. So just looking at everything, I'm going with Luque. It's probably going to be a finish again, of course. Hopefully, it's not too bad of a finish where Barberena won't be able to recover, but because, man, he got some power. So, yeah, I'm going with Luque. That's my pick.
Yeah, Barberina's chin has been historically granite, but yeah, Luque has exceptional power. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of guys that hit hard. Yeah, Tyron Woodley hits harder. There's some knockout artists at welterweight, but he's slept on. He's got some real interesting. He has a real interesting skill set, but yeah, a gift with his power.
Yeah, it's
So
scary. Kind of scary. I don't think people realize it. So, this will be a fun fight.
especially the way he looks, he doesn't look like the most intimidating guy. I mean, what's his nickname? The silent assassin, right? I mean, it's very fitting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I hope it doesn't end too bad for Barberina, but yeah, I can't not go with Luque. It seems like the right pick. Moving on now to the main card, Kron Gracie, or as I like to call him, Flat Earth Kron, is making his UFC debut against Bruce Leroy, Alex Caceres. He hasn't fought in over 2 years, and Caceres has been on a weird streak. What do you think of this matchup, Brain?
Well, first, I would like to apologize for my co-host's remarks there, Prince of BJJ. Hickson Gracie's son. Goodness. Caceres is like the gatekeeper of the UFC. Seems like he's 14-11. He has this awful record, but they keep him around. Because he's fun to watch. He's entertaining. He's got a flashy style. So I mean, but the poor guy's a gatekeeper, and they threw Kron at him. But like you said, like he hasn't fought in 2 years, but still, he's won over 50 BJJs in a row, right? BJJ competitions in a row. But I know it's not a BJJ competition; it's MMA. I get it, but he can go in there and get caught. I understand, but I just don't see that happening. I actually have Gracie for the win. That's my pick. I just can't. I can't go against a Gracie, and it's so good to have a Gracie back in the UFC.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just I want to give Caceres a chance because he's like Sergio Pettis. He was one of his first fights when he came in. He finished them, but I don't know. Just given his style, he has some good skills, but I think this is just a bad matchup. Gracie's Kron Gracie has a very interesting style. He's pretty strong. I've seen he's been working on his boxing too. He's not afraid to hit, and he can hit pretty hard from what I've seen. But the craziest thing about him is that he will pull guard. And he did this in BJJ, and he does it in MMA. And I know he will have no problem doing it to Caceres. Yeah, I think first round submission is the way to go. I just hope he's 30 years old now. I just hope he's giving up the flat Earth shit. Because come on, man, you're Rickson Gracie's son. The Gracies are a wealthy, educated family. Please tell me you went to school. Don't be that guy. Don't. Oh man, you're supposed to look down on Eddie Bravo, and yet you're following his bullshit.
I was just thinking about Eddie. I'm like, dude, they might be like hanging out talking about all this flat Earth thing. He is a brilliant man, but sometimes I just don't understand where Eddie's head is at.
It's fucking crazy.
like, come on, is that too much smoking or man? I don't get it. Yeah,
I
look
don't
into it.
understand his deal either. I don't get his deal either. But he's nuts. He's nuts, and maybe that's what makes him a great trainer, a great coach. But yeah, he's fucking nuts. There's no getting around that.
Yeah, but yeah, this fight though, man. I'm looking forward to it, but man, this is just I don't know, man. I thought of it too, like he could get caught, it can go either way, but damn, I don't want either to lose. Can they just win and like go into a draw or something? Yeah,
Well,
Alex Caceres, he's so
is it,
fun too, but his record, man. I'm
I believe it's
surprised.
his 20th UFC fight too. He's been there for fucking ever.
Yeah, and he still hasn't been cut, so he is the gatekeeper, right? That's what you call it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Damn, man, crazy. And he signed up for this. He's like, all right, let's do this.
Yeah, I mean, it's just his job, right? He's got to take whoever they give him. So props to him for taking it. If he wins, Jesus Christ, what a win! But I think he's obviously he has a ways to go, but Caceres should be a decent fight for him. I don't think he's gonna have too much trouble. I don't know. Moving on, next fight, Courtney Casey versus Cynthia Calvillo. Interesting fight. Courtney Casey's coming off a win, quote unquote win off of Angela Hill. I still don't get how she won that fight. It was close, but no, I think Hill won, and I think she won pretty clearly, even if it was close. And Calvillo's coming off a win off of Poliana Botelho. No, I can't say that right. Poliana Botelho, first round submission after having a really bad weight cut. So Calvillo, bad weight cut. Casey coming off of a controversial win. I guess, both wins, but weird in their own right. I think I'm just gonna have to go with Calvillo here. I think she's gonna get the sub. Casey's big, she's strong, she can hit hard. I haven't seen her with much knockout power, so I don't think that's gonna happen. And some of the finishes she's had has been ground and pound. I don't think she's gonna get Calvillo down and pound her out like that. So I think Calvillo will get her usual rear naked choke because Casey's one that's prone to make bad judgment calls. Her fight IQ is not the greatest, so I think Calvillo's gonna capitalize on that. She's gonna choke her out. What do you got? What do you got on this one, Rin?
Same. Yeah, Calvillo. Like she's a shark. She's gonna get you to the ground. She's gonna sub you. She's gonna take you out somehow. So yeah, this is interesting too because Calvillo's ranked 12 and then Casey is ranked number 11. So she's gonna get bumped up pretty soon to top 10 here. So
she's still with Alpha Male, right? That
yep.
hasn't changed. Okay, just making sure. But I thought maybe because of the weight cut stuff, sometimes they like to blame the coaches and the trainers and blah blah blah. But all right, I'm hoping, and I don't know what happened last time with the weight cut. Maybe it was just she's claimed it was something about her period. Maybe it was just some weird freak occurrence. But she looked terrible. But she's not the biggest strawweight, so who knows what happened there. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was hoping there's no issues again. She looked, it was one of the scariest things I've seen lately, especially given that it wasn't one of those stupid things like just go up and weigh. You're too big for the division. It was just like a weird freak occurrence. But Casey is a big one for the division. She's always made weight, but I don't think it's
Hmm.
gonna matter too much here.
Yeah.
I think Calvillo takes it.
Yeah, it was crazy because I saw that weigh-in for Calvillo, and I think I forgot who I messaged, but I was like, she don't get pulled. That's crazy. But they never pulled her because she looked like she was gonna die. She's she's gonna faint on that, weigh-in. It's like it was crazy that she was able to fight and
Yeah, she had to get naked. I recall, and she looked pale. She's not like a white girl. But she looked pale. She looked
yeah,
also thin. Yeah, it did look very scary.
it was disturbing to watch. I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna pull this fight. She's not gonna make it, but she pulled it off with the win. So
Yeah,
crazy, man. But I'm
yeah,
glad she's back again.
yeah. As am I. Should be an interesting fight. Should be interesting. Co-main event time: Paul Felder versus James Vick. I am a big Felder fan. I am not a big James Vick fan.
me,
Um,
me too.
I
Oh
don't.
my
I want to meet the person that likes James Vick. I remember I used to get so pissed off back in the day because some MMA media people were high on him. Oh, he's so big and he hits hard and he good jiu-jitsu and this and that. But then the whole thing with Lloyd Irvin and that shit came out. Anyway, moving on from all that, I'm not a fan, but I think it's an interesting fight. Both are good strikers. I think Felder's a better striker, but what becomes interesting to me about this fight is the ground game because Vic has some good chokes, especially his guillotine. He's won a few fights like that. Him being just so long with his long arms really can really capitalize on that. But Felder, although he's a good striker, he's really seemed to like his wrestling lately. And in his last fight, he's coming off a layoff too, and he finished Charles Oliveira over a year ago. But he got him with some brutal ground and pound elbows. But I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out if do you think this will go to the ground, Reen, or you think this is going to be a purely striking matchup?
Well, I'm wondering if he's going to even make it because he blamed it on the weight cut issue, right? Last time, all that shit talk with fighting Justin Gaethje, and he got knocked out like with under 2 minutes.
Badly too. That's
Yeah,
another thing to think about. Is he all there? Because that was a brutal knockout. That was like 5 6 months ago. It's been pretty recent.
yeah, it wasn't too long ago, and yeah, he blamed it on the weight cut. So he's a big dude. He's 6'3". Why are you fighting in this weight class? Is this the right one? So I'm wondering about that. Paul Felder, man, ever since he's just started training with Duke Rufus, his striking is amazing. His elbows are beautiful. Oh, God, every time he uses his elbows, it's just wow. You know me with the technical stuff like Muay Thai moves. Like I'm always
Yeah.
just like wow. I'm like drooling all the time. So but yeah, Vic has like long arms. His boxing is good, kicks, but like you, I don't really like the guy. So I don't know how to talk him up with this. I already have my pick. I mean, I'm gonna go with Paul Felder, of course. He's my favorite. Um, it's it's
Yeah.
it's crazy that he even went up and fought Mike Perry, but he had to. Mike Perry needed an opponent. He went up to welterweight to fight him. Um, he lost that fight, unfortunately, but prior to that, he was on a 3-fight win streak and he's been doing great. So I don't think it's going to go to the ground. They're probably going to keep it standing. And hopefully, he knocks him out with the elbow or something, a slicing elbow. That would be awesome.
Seems like it'd be kind of hard given the
The,
size discrepancy.
yeah, the height and whatnot, too. But I just
Yeah.
wonder with this weight cut, man. Vic's weight cut.
Yeah. I don't think it's gonna spell good things for him. I mean, how old is he? He's about to be 30. No.
I think so. I forget his age, but yeah, this is weird too because he's ranked number 10. Paul Felder's not ranked at all. I don't know what this fight really means, but I mean, it's going to be entertaining regardless.
Yeah, yeah, it should be entertaining. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Felder too. I think he's the more technical striker. Vic, obviously big and powerful, but he still. I mean, the whole thing with Justin Gage, why he got caught like that is because he leaves his chin up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think Felder's smart enough to capitalize on that. I think he'll see an opening like that. So I don't know if it'll be a one hitter quitter like Gagey did to him, but I think he'll TKO him. Maybe in the second round. Felder's not like the quickest finisher, so I think he'll feel him out for a little bit and get a second round TKO. Main event time though. Francis Ngannou versus Kane. Maybe he'll be there, maybe he won't. Velasquez. Man, been over 2.5 years since Cain Velasquez's, yeah, 2.5 years since he last fought. He fought Mr. Ronda Rousey, Travis Brown, and he wheel kicked him and made the shit out of people. And now the surgeons or who physical therapists, they probably put fucking duct tape and screws and all kinds of shit and trying to fix his back and God knows what other injuries he's been going through. Man, he's man, Kane is like cyborg now. He's like half a machine. He's all 6 months, whatever. He's not he's not healthy and he's not all there. Is what I'm saying. It's been a long fucking time, but I don't know. This is a interesting fight. Okay, I think I'm just gonna come out and say it. I'm I'm picking Francis Ngannou in this one.
You are?
Yeah, I know it's the most logical thing. The most logical pick is Kane, but I'm picking Ngannou for a few reasons. Yeah, I see not just the skill disparity, but also um, yeah, I see that it's a best style matchup that Ngannou might freeze up given Kane's wrestling and pressure and whatnot. But I don't think Kane is just gonna rush him like that. I don't think he's gonna come out and just jab him and put him against the fence. I don't know. I think Cage the ring rust is gonna be real. I think he's gonna be hesitant. And as we saw in the Curtis Blades fight, he only needs a moment, a minute sometimes just to finish you. So I think he's gonna capitalize. I think he's gonna knock him out in the first round. And also, this is just some weird coincidental bullshit, but I'm gonna just go with it. He came off a long layoff and made his debut on national TV when he fought Junior Dos Santos the first time and got knocked out in a minute. And I just think the juju's not on Kane's side with this one. I think he's just gonna get knocked out quickly again, given that this is the first ESPN card and everyone's been awaiting his return. So I'm going with Ngannou first round knockout.
Damn, that's your peoples.
Not really.
Oh man.
I've heard him speak Spanish, and my Spanish is not the greatest, but it's way better than his. That's what I found so funny. Just a side note, when he fought Verdum, remember he took it very personal in the days leading up to that because Verdum says, "I'm more Mexican than you. I've been living here, and I speak to your people better than you," which is true. He says no lies in that, no lies detected. But Kane's like, "Fuck you. I'm Mexican. How dare you, question my nationality?" But no, bro, you're American. They call you Pocho. They don't consider you one of them. They only like you because you were champion for a while. But no, no, not really. And I
Ouch.
say this as a fellow Pocho because that's what they call me too.
Ouch, ouch. Well, I'm going the opposite. The king is back. Yeah, it's been over 2 years. He finished Mr. Rousey. Yeah, UFC 200. That was the last time we saw him. That was a beautiful, beautiful fight. He basically retired Travis Brown because after that, he went on a losing streak, 4 fights in a row, and out of the UFC, and now he's carrying bags for Ronda. Oh, but yeah, I just can't go against Kane with this one. He's back. Hopefully he's healthy. He's good to go. Like you said, he's all put together. He's part machine. I don't think they'll put him in there unless he's like really ready to go. And Francis, I wasn't really too impressed. Yeah, he beat Curtis Blaze in less than a minute, but we still haven't really seen everything.
I'm aware of that, and I thought about that too. I'm like, well, there's an unknown with Francis too. It's like, is he really back, or did he just get lucky with Blades, or was Blades maybe kind of scared of him since he already lost to him? Maybe he gave him too much respect. I understand that there's that aspect to it too, but I just think it's been too long for Kane. The last time Kane fought, Lorenzo Fertitta still owned the UFC.
Damn, if you put it that way.
Yes,
Yeah,
WME wasn't a thing.
Yeah, that's true. If you put it, yeah, damn it, man. But I gotta go with his coaches and DC talking about, yeah, once he leaves, he's gonna be the champ, and he's back. They're not messing around this time. Like, hopefully, this is it. He's gonna go on this run, and he's gonna get that belt back. But yeah, like it's just with Francis, I haven't seen everything. So yeah, he can get caught. I know, I know, I know. He has all that power. It's so scary, the Predator. But yeah, I can't. NorCal, aka, I can't go against Kane. So yep, the King is back.
Okay, so there's our differing pick main event. Yeah, what? So you think a decision?
Maybe it could be. I didn't even think of it really how it's going to finish. Because who knows what's going to happen. I'm just looking forward to him coming back. If he stays in for all of 5 rounds, cool, man. I want to see what happens, how his body, operates, how he moves, and because like it's been what over 2 years since we've seen him. So yeah, I want to see what he does. And then yeah, is he going to have that opportunity to fight Stipe? Because if DC's going to retire, he's talking about his nagging back injury, right? I think reports came out earlier this week regarding that.
Mm-hmm.
He might just speed up his timetable for retirement. So pass the torch, and then maybe we'll see a Stipe Kane fight. Who knows? But we just gotta get through this fight and see what happens.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you there. Well, I'm with you that it's a hard fight to pick, but yeah, I'm going with Ngannou. But yeah, moving on from that, wanted to give the quick tweet of the week. I wanted to this time it goes out to Ben Folks. You guys know MMA writer Ben Folks. I just thought this was funny, and I guess I could relate to it, although I don't have a kid. But he tweeted, "How do I know I spent too much of my life watching MMA? My daughter split her forehead open this morning, and when I looked at the wound, I swear I could hear Joe Rogan saying, 'That's a bad cut, Mike.'" So I thought,
Oh my god.
yeah, it's a lot of MMA. But when it's your job, I mean, what can you do? I'm sure he's a fan too, as most of us are. But yeah, that's a doozy. That's some other shit. So I could imagine myself doing something like that, even if I don't have kids. But I thought that was funny. A quick note on some other fights happening this weekend. It's not just the UFC. UFC's happening Sunday, but there's fights on Friday and Saturday. Friday we have a Bellator fight, Bellator 215. Mitrione versus Karatanov is the main event. That could be an interesting fight. Heavyweights slugging it out. It's an interesting fight. Karatanov has power. Mitrione has speed, agility, and some power as well. It could go out. Obviously we've seen Mitrione the whole double knockout with Fedor. That I don't know. I don't know who to take in this fight, but I'm interested in watching it. And also, someone you may know, Reen Amber Leibrock, is on the undercard. She's fighting on the prelims. She's fighting Amanda Bell. Have you seen Amanda Bell fight? What do you think of this one? You think you'll watch it?
I think I'll catch that one for sure. I haven't seen Amanda Bell fight officially. No, I've only seen like highlights of her, but I like Amber. She's a NorCal girl. She's at CSA. I've been a fan of hers ever since she knocked out Marina Shafir.
As
Sorry,
as I.
sorry, Marina, but you got knocked the fuck out. That was entertaining.
Funnily enough, I think Marina's first official loss was to Amanda Bell, so they both knocked her out and knocked her out badly.
Yeah, it was funny too because she's like calling out Chris Cyborg at that time too, and here comes Amber. She's so new.
That was a terrifying knockout too.
Yeah, it was brutal, but wow, ever since then, she's just slowly moving up, her skill level, the ranks, and it's been like fun to watch her evolve, especially with the team that she's with. She's being well taken care of by Kieran Fitzgerald, so Fitzgibbons, I mean. So yeah, I'll probably just catch that one because I'm not a big like Bellator fan. I'm surprised like Mitrone's still doing the thing. He's 40 years old. God.
I forget how old he is. Karatanov has got to be up there too. But Karatanov has beat some good guys. He's beat Verdum. He's beat Overeem. Just beat Big Country. I mean, people think he's a jobber, but he's a journeyman. But he's got some good wins on him. I respect Karatanov and his uppercuts. Man, his uppercuts are some of the best in the division. So I'm interested in seeing it, but I haven't put too much thought into who might win. Also,
Crazy, man.
yeah. Also on Friday, Invicta FC 34. I think most of you guys know I'm a big Invicta fan. Pearl Gonzalez is fighting Vanessa Porto for the flyweight championship. Porto's had a few chances and never got it, and Pearl obviously cut from the UFC. Has been doing pretty good in Invicta lately. Pearl's got to be the favorite coming into this, but Porto's never a easy fight for anybody, so that should be a really fun matchup. And then they did a flyweight tournament as well to determine who's going to fight for the belt next. They matched up Deanna Bennett versus Miranda Maverick and Milana Dudieva versus Karina Rodriguez, a real Mexican ring, not Cain Velasquez Mexican.
Okay.
But yeah, those should be fun fights. Interesting to see how they're actually getting a little structure there. Just kind of been a problem with Invicta, but I'm definitely gonna be watching that. But I did want to get your opinion on this. I did want to get a pick for this one on Saturday. Paul Daly's fighting MVP. Long-awaited fight. A lot of beef. I don't know. I kind of have a feeling it may be boring, but it could also be really violent, and I'm trying to figure out what it may be.
Man, this is 2 years in the making. It was fun when it originally started, all the shit talk. Entertaining to watch, having them go back and forth. I watched the conference that they had in England because they couldn't have it there, but at least they had something there for the fans. So the shit talk, the same old stuff. Like I wasn't really too hype about this. If you would have like presented this like 2 years ago when I was actually watching Bellator, then I would be all over this. But I'm just like, eh. Like you're talking about it, and I'm like rolling my eyes. Sorry, you can't see me, but I was like rolling my eyes. I'm like, here we go, Paula and MVP fighting.
Well, the thing is, I mean, I get what you're saying, but this is the fight that Paul Daly. Some people have kind of questioned his motivation, and I understand because he looked like shit against John Fitch in his last fight. But this is a fight that shouldn't be hard for him because it's a striker. He's always relished the opportunity to go against another striker. And MVP is still not fought anybody of note. He's basically crushed just cans up to this point. How many years into his MMA career, and he hasn't fought anyone of note. So this is the first big test for MVP, and Daly always does good when it's a fellow striker. So I don't know. Gun to your head, if you had to pick somebody, who do you think's winning this one?
Oh my god, gun to my head, MVP.
Yeah, I'm hearing this, and I can't allow it. I despise MVP. Although I'll give him credit. There was one fight. I believe the guy's name was Holiday. His last name was Holiday. He said something along the lines that MVP is not good with pressure. He likes distance so much. I'm gonna take it to him and I'm gonna pressure him. He literally sprinted at him in the beginning of the fight, just ran at him across the cage, and MVP just stayed his ground and just unloaded a fucking overhand right and just dropped his ass. That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I don't like MVP, but I give him props for making me laugh with that fight. But nah, I think people are sleeping on Daly, and I think a lot of people have not seen Daly fight actual kickboxing, and this is exactly what this fight's going to be. It's going to be a kickboxing match. He's got all the skills. Obviously, we know about his left hooks. He's very powerful, but he's got wicked leg kicks. You know, the whole deal. Obviously, we've seen his flying knee with Brendan Ward and his spinning elbows and shit. I just think Daly's going to be in a world of trouble. I think it'll go to a decision, but I think he's going to get his ass beat for a good portion of it. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, part of me is kind of hating, like you said, like what is his motivation to finally fight? The $1 million from 50 Cent?
oh yeah, I forget 50's involved in all this shit.
Yeah. So I'm kind of hating on that too. So, but hey, what can you do? You know, if the money's right, yeah, go for it.
That's what it's all about, fighting for the prizes.
Yep.
Prize fighting. So, yeah. Yeah, so those are some of the other fights I wanted to give a shout out to. Have a loaded weekend if you're into fights. Um, some quick news. Johnny Walker is stepping in for Oven St. Preux. Undisclosed injury pulled him out of UFC 235. He's going to fight Misha Serkinov. But Johnny Walker stepped up off of his latest 15-second almost soccer kick of Justin Ledet. But he's going to fight Misha Serkinov now. A really mean, strong grappler. This should be a first for him. I don't know. What do you think of the matchup, Ryan? I don't know. I mean, I'm going with Walker. Well,
Yeah.
what do you think about this one? Yeah, Misha's good, but I don't know. We'll probably talk about this when it comes around. But just gut reaction, I'm going with Walker on this one.
Well, if it's gut, then yeah, yeah, for sure. Especially with the finish he had last time. I mean, he hasn't been in the cage that long. With all of his fights, he hasn't been in the cage that long at all. But this is a dangerous fight, I think. But props to him for stepping up and asking for those 72 hours, I believe it was, after he just fought. He's like, yeah, I'll go again.
Yeah,
He's that crazy. Like he wants this so bad. So hopefully that momentum continues. But damn, this is going to be a dangerous fight. I think it'll be a fun fight too. So props to him for stepping up.
yeah. It's gonna be fun to watch. 235 is a sick card, and just all the better now. I always want to watch Johnny Walker fight now, so trying to do like Serkinov, that's exciting.
You know what would be crazy if he did win this fight? If they allow him to come into the octagon after the main event.
I think I don't know. There's nobody at 205, so I understand you, but I don't know. I think that's a little bit too soon. I'm sure he'll go on the mic and talk shit after he beats Serkinov. That's what happens. But the whole into the octagon thing, I don't know. And then also, I'm at a point now. Maybe this is just me, but if I was Dana, I'm like, I can't trust this kid yet. I'm not afraid that he'll punch John Jones or do some stupid shit like that, but he's such a wild man. Like, this kid might get naked and start running around the fucking octagon or something. He's a
Dude,
fucking weirdo, man.
it'd be so perfect though. Like I'm sure Dana was like, "Yeah, I'll be happy to put you on the card with John Jones too. Like let's like mix this up, make this fun, make it like WWE style entertainment."
Man, I just
I would do it. I'd be like, come on,
too many
get in the
antics
cage."
right now. Too many antics. Calvin Gastelum with his stupid shit. TJ Dillashaw still crying about his fight. I just want to see a fight, man. This shit's all getting to me already. So that's just me. That's just me. Um, well, this isn't a good segue because Johnny Walker just brings the happiness, and this is a bad story, but I think it's one that needs to be told because this thing, as was famously said in Strikeforce, these things happen in mixed martial arts, unfortunately. But there's a new case of domestic violence. Josh Copeland, PFL semifinalist, well, PFL finalist, almost got the $1 million grand prize this New Year's Eve, but ended up losing. He's been suspended indefinitely by PFL because he just got arrested for domestic violence. Apparently, him and his wife were fighting, arguing about something, and allegedly she hit him multiple times, and Copeland swung back, hit her, punched her in the face, and the most unfortunate thing about this is that he did this in front of his child, and then after that happened, he took her phone so she wouldn't call the police. So he's being charged with domestic violence, obstruction, and then child endangerment. So it's just bad news all around. I like your perspective on this, Rain. I mean, there's no real good way to go about this in any way, but I mean that's what happened. It's just a thing that always happens in MMA, and it's never good to report these things, but I just think it's necessary.
Yeah, when I read the article, yeah, when it got to the son part, that really bothered me. It's tough for me to talk about right now because I have a son, and yeah, I can't believe that happened in front of the child, and hopefully he'll be okay, with some help or family, his mom. But yeah, I'm glad that the PFL did what they did because whatever happened, that should have never happened in the first place in front of the son. That's all I'm gonna say. It bothers me so much because he's such a big guy,
Yeah.
big fucker, cuddly bear.
Very, yeah, that's his nickname, and that's the thing that's I want to say most disturbing about it. I mean, obviously hitting a woman is never a good thing, but yeah, he's supposed to be kind of like this big goofball. He didn't never seem like he'd hurt a fly kind of guy. At least that's what I thought before this. But I know people will say, "Oh, well, she hit him first and that," but no, that's not the way to go, especially when you're as big as you are and you're a professional fighter. You need to keep yourself in check, especially not just for her, but definitely for the kid. And I'm sorry, I understand that this can be touchy, and I'll just say on my part, I'm not a stranger to it either, and I've definitely been in that kid's shoes. I'll just say that, but it's not a good scene. So I definitely get where you're coming from, but I don't think it does anybody any favors by never speaking about these things, going the UFC route and touting Greg Hardy as this awesome football player, and never mentioning the terrible shit he did. So this isn't a high profile guy. He was in the UFC. He's not anymore, but you still got to call these things out when they happen.
Yeah. So I hope somebody beats the shit out of him.
Can't
If he
can't say
fights,
anything on that one. Yeah. Yep.
if he fights again, I hope something happens.
Yeah. And that's kind of been our stance on many people, as most people probably think the same thing. But unfortunate, but
Yeah.
that's the sport.
Yeah.
It's not they're not one and the same, but it's just a thing that happens, unfortunately.
Shouldn't want to wish that upon somebody, but in this case, I mean, if you're gonna sign a step in the cage, anyways, I hope it happens to you.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's not vigilante justice. So you get jumped in the middle of the street somewhere, but you're fighting for a living. It can happen to anybody, whether you're a good or a bad person. It's better that it happens to a bad person.
Fight somebody in your own weight class.
Your own size and your own gender too.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, that does it for MMA stuff. But as always, we're trying to touch on another news story. But this is just such an odd story. So, a guy in Jamaica won the lottery, and he decided to collect his winnings in the Scream mask. Yes, like the movie Scream, the Wes Craven movie Scream. I guess Ghostface is what he's known as. That classic mask. He went to collect his money in this mask to avoid harassment. And well, given that it's in Jamaica, they're not exactly the most peaceful country. Probably possible mugging. But you guys need to see this picture of this dude getting his going to the office in the mask. It's so surreal. It's so funny to see. But I give the guy props. It's a smart move, but it's just such a funny image.
He he didn't say anything until like 54 days later because it just bothered him so much. And yeah, if you're in Jamaica, like I would probably be doing the same thing too. I protect my identity. You just never know what's going to happen. And it's a lot of money there, right? It's over $1 million.
Yeah, American dollars. It translates to over $1 million in U.S. dollars. But yeah, as the article says here, Campbell, guy's name is Victor A. Campbell. He said Campbell made the choice to arrive as the fictional Woodsboro slasher 54 days after winning. However, he's not alone in concealing his identity, as many past Jamaican winners have concealed their identity for fear of being harassed on the streets. So there you go. That's a smart move by the man, but just a hilarious optics.
Yeah. I guess he had like a bellyache for 2 weeks because he's just thinking about this and stressing out. And
You just won $1 million and you're stressed out.
yeah, right. You would be happy, but normally you would be happy. Like your life's gonna change. But in this case, he's like, oh my God, he's so worried about what's gonna happen if he did, present himself like without a mask. So I wonder how he came up with picking this particular mask, though. Like it doesn't really say if he was like a Scream fan or anything like that.
I gotta think he probably borrowed it from somebody, or it's probably from like a Halloween costume from years back. And it's like, well, it's all I got. I'm sure if he had a hockey mask or a Jason mask or a Michael Myers mask, he would have gone in that, which would still be funny. But I don't know. I guess especially with things like Scary Movie, there's just a thing with Scream that it kind of just goes with comedy. It kind of goes hand in hand with comedy. So it just makes it all the more funnier. Yeah.
That's true because they did the spoof for it. One of those Wayans brothers movies.
Yeah, and I think people know that movie just as much as they know Scream. So I think that's what they'll always be hand in hand with one another. But yeah, that's a very very funny, kind of troubling story, but
yeah,
at least it makes you laugh.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be okay. Nobody knows who he is, so.
Exactly. Hopefully he's okay. He gets his money and invests in something or stretches it out a little bit more, because you know how these lottery stories go. At least here in the States. Hopefully it's different in Jamaica, but yeah, that's gonna do it for tonight. I want to thank my co-host Reen as always. You can catch us on Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, Podcast Republic, SoundCloud. It's about everywhere we are. Obviously, of course, Spreaker. That's our main distributor. You can catch me on Twitter at Juice_MMA, Instagram as well, and Twitter and Instagram for Reen at Foxwithya, and the podcast account at iFoxWithJuice on Twitter and Instagram. But I want to thank you guys for hanging out, for listening, and hope you guys enjoy all the fights this weekend. And we'll catch you all next week. Later.
Peace, guys.